Alright, good morning YouTube. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you that it's okay to train the way you want to train. And even more important, it's okay to train the way you have to train. I think right now we're kind of entering a point in time where we have so much knowledge available to us, so many good, valid reasonings and arguments for a certain style of training that will make sense, that will provide results, and will have a lasting impact on you as a lifter if you commit to them. Now, here's the dangerous part to this line of thinking. If I go into a discussion saying everything works or anything works, then we start blurring the line between effective and ineffective training, and then efficient or inefficient training. But I think the biggest determining factor between those variables is you, the lifter, your own personal needs, wants, limitations, genetics, if you even care about that kind of thing, which I just quite frankly don't. But you, the individual, is the most important variable when it comes to what is optimal. You are the determining factor of optimal training, not the biomechanics, not the overall weight you're lifting, not the technique, not the form. All of those things will come as a result of what you choose to do. And you have that choice. So me personally, right? This is the example that I've been thinking about for quite a while, and it's something that I want your thoughts on, okay? I'm a big One Piece fan. I love One Piece, and there is a moment in the story. One Piece has been out for 20 years. If you're not caught up, that's your fault. But there's a moment in the story where Luffy, the protagonist, he's given the choice of literally given a shortcut to the ultimate goal of every single person who's decided to be a pirate, right? One Piece is an anime about pirates. And he says, fuck that. He actually gets mad at his best friend saying, if the journey is handed to me, I don't even want to take it. If the treasure is handed to me, I don't even think it's treasure. If the ultimate goal is given to me on a silver platter, I'd rather not have my dreams, essentially. And I think a lot of people can benefit from that mindset when it comes to their own training. Me personally, if I can't get to my goal physique with barbells, dumbbells, basically that, weighted calisthenics, honestly, like my two biggest sources of fun in my training are barbell training and weighted calisthenics. Those are the most fun things for me in my training, so that's what I do most of the time. A lot of people will say that's not optimal. A lot of people will say that's inefficient. A lot of people might say that it's this or that, but I do not care, because if I can't get to my goal with the methods that I've chosen to do, and these methods aren't like, I'm not saying that you can just do whatever you want, right? You can't become a world record marathon runner without running. You can't become a great boxer without ever boxing. You have to commit yourself in some capacity that's reasonable and related to your goal. And that's enough. So what I'm trying to get at is this. If I have to use only machines to build muscle, if I have to use only dumbbells to build muscle, if I have to use only high rep range to build muscles, if I have to do any of that, I just wouldn't want to lift weights, being completely honest with you. So, but here's the cool part. I don't have to do any of those things. I can use barbells. I can use weighted calisthenics. I can use minimal machine work. And all of that will work. All of it will provide results, as I think I've done a pretty decent job doing, you know? So, like this is a really nice shirt that my girlfriend got me, and it's really pumping everything, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, if I can't do it with barbells, calisthenics, and that, I just wouldn't lift weights. And here's the cool thing. This line of thinking is not exclusive to barbells and calisthenics. A lot of my friends train in a way that me personally, I'd find that boring as hell. But here's the cool thing. It doesn't matter to them either. They don't care, because they're making great results doing whatever the fuck they're doing. And that's wonderful. It's perfect. And the cool thing is, a lot of people will be hoodwinked into thinking that they have to train a specific kind of way. No, you don't have to. If your main goal is hypertrophy, you don't have to train the way that I like to accomplish that goal of hypertrophy. I like to accomplish hypertrophy with big basic compounds. I like to build a physique based off of those movements, but you don't have to. You can use more machines if you like to. You can use more isolations if you like to. You can do more sets, reps, and everything else if you like to. You can go that high volume approach if you want to. It works. The thing is, you choose a path, right? You choose a path. There is not an infinite, there is an infinite number of paths, but there is a finite number of paths that will work. So then here's the thing. You choose the one that you're going to stick to. You choose the one that's actually going to work best for you. Then, as a result, you go to people who are either on that path themselves, very similar paths that you can benefit from, and then you learn from them. If you do not care about basic barbell movements or anything of that nature, and you want to use exclusively biomechanically optimal exercises and use nothing but machines, I'm not the channel for you, and that's perfectly fine. There are better sources of information that are going to benefit you, and you will get results from them. Go there. If you like using free weights and whatnot, but you don't want to use these conventional or the competition squat, bench, and deadlift, congratulations, you don't have to do that either. There's a lot of different channels that provide great information with all of these things. But here's the thing. None of them are in conflict with one another if you know what you're choosing. If you decide you want to go down a more conjugate approach, right? A very effective way of building muscle for natural lifters, incredibly effective, I would argue. However, if you don't want to do that, just because you hear something from people within that lane, that doesn't mean you now have to give up everything that you want to do to accommodate to their own biases, their own preferences, and whatnot. If you prefer to train in a specific kind of way and it is working for you, then I would do that. Because even with these guys who I would argue are on that more biomechanically optimal scale, the better ones of them, they do agree that you want to have basic movement patterns that you progressively overload over time with heavier weights in moderate rep ranges. They just do it with different movements than I would. They use it on like the hammer strength chest press where I would do it with a barbell bench press. That still applies, or some type of cable stack or something of that nature, right? We all are accomplishing the same thing of choosing a way that matters to us, choosing a way that it fits within our preferences, how we like to train, and getting results from it. That's what matters most. So now that's just the preference side of things, okay? That's just your choice. Now, there are times in our life where we don't really have the most optimal choices available to us. I was broke growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a gym membership. Like, the first time I got a gym membership was like, it wasn't even a membership. It was just included with the apartments that we lived in. They had a little fitness center in there, right? I did not go on to bodybuilder forums and start talking to these people like, can I build muscle with only 50-pound dumbbells? Can I build muscle only with push-ups? I just said, all right, all I got are push-ups and 50-pound dumbbells. I'm going to use them. And I just did not give a fuck. Like, I think that's kind of missing. I get it. You want to be optimal. I get it. You want to be efficient. I get it. You want to make sure that what you're doing is effective. But I'm telling you, experience matters so much more. And here's the one thing that none of the optimal training bros can ever teach you, and that's how to work hard. If you don't know how to work hard, I don't care what method you choose to do. Working hard is a mix of a couple things. 1, actually being consistent. 2, actually working hard. And 3, being patient. Patience is a very underrated aspect of working hard, because here's the thing. In certain sports, you can't just outwork another person, especially when it comes to sports like this where you're trying to build muscle, or let's say for boxing, wrestling, or whatnot, because you have to factor in recovery. A person who is not consistent with their recovery will not be able to enter into the competition at their best level, and what will happen? They'll lose, regardless of how hard they work. So you have to be intelligent with that as well. But here's the thing. If you are stopped by something being ineffective to one person, right? Or to one style of training, or you're stopped just because you only have this amount of equipment, then unfortunately, I just have to think to myself, you're probably not going to make it in this sport anyway, and that breaks my heart. It really does. Because here's the thing. As much as I want you to succeed, right? There's not a damn thing I can do about it if you don't actually apply yourself to not only, because here's the thing, to break your limits, and whatnot, you have to acknowledge what limitations you have. And what do you do when you have those limitations? You start where you stand. I did not have a gym membership, and when I did finally have access to weights, all it was a couple cable stacks, some treadmills, an elliptical, a set of dumbbells that went up to 50, and that was it. And then everything else I just did calisthenics. And from that, I was able to go from 300 pounds to 180 pounds. And somewhere along the way, we actually had to move out of that apartment, and I did not have any access to any workout equipment. And there was a park literally a mile and a half away. And every day after school, I would either walk or run to that park and then do a full 1 to 2 hours of calisthenics before walking or running back home. So that's just what you have to do. You just have to do that sometimes. If you really care about something, you do not care about what someone else has to say about it to stop you, because you just wouldn't stop anyway. Part of this video is meant to remind you that you are capable of reaching your goals if you commit to them. Not if you get the right answer from the right guru, from the right channel, from the right influencer, or anything like that. If you actually have a legitimate fire, passion in your heart to get to your goal, you can do it if you start where you stand. You want, as much as you want to start in optimal, as much as you want to start in effective, as much as you want to start with the best equipment, doesn't fucking matter. Start where you stand, and I promise you, you will end up in a place that you will never dream possible. Just fucking start. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Cross the King, Stancetrain.com. If you would like to work with me as a coach, you can do that in the description below. But here's the thing. If you can't afford coaching, you don't need it. You just need to work hard. So honestly, coaching is a luxury. It's a privilege. It's something that you can get if you really want it. But as for the most part, if you can't afford it, trust me, there's a ton of other channels, a ton of videos on this channel that you can use for free to get where you want to go. So coaching, that's honestly the last option. Watch my other videos, watch videos from other great YouTube channels, and if you want me to make a video discussing where I would point you in that direction, then I'll make one. But that's it for this video. Start where you stand and stop worrying so goddamn much. All right, have a good one.